We're recording.
Very cool. All right. I guess I'll introduce why I wanted to talk with you yesterday and what came up with making this video. So I'm MJ with Real Life Fit, and we can link all of our things down below in the video so that we can follow through with that. But just to explain why we're making this video is yesterday I was feeling super anxious and like almost like I was spinning around in circles and I could not focus on anything. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? I did have coffee. Sometimes that happens, sometimes not. But then also sometimes I just know that a collective of people, like everyone's kind of going through the same stuff. So I started messaging my friends. I'm like, hey, are you okay? What's going on? And it seemed like everyone I talked with was having some kind of stressful event going on or many stressful events going on. And they were just overwhelmed and, you know, kind of just didn't know what to do because everything's just kind of all crazy. So I'm like, huh. And so I was like, let me ask Jenn. For me right now, I'm like, is there some kind of like yoga magic pose I can do right now so my head will like work right? Or I'm like, surely we can figure this out together. So
Uh-huh.
that's why we're making this video today.
Yeah. So let me introduce myself as well. My name is Jenn Corvin, and I am a wellness coach that focuses on yoga and meditation and primarily works with empath women. So that's definitely right up my alley, really tapping into the collective and dealing with people who are just tapping into all of the energies that are around us and learning to live and cope with those energies. For those of us who identify as empaths or are just sensitive in general, all of these kind of things. And I think that there are things that everyone goes through, but they tend to hit us really hard. Because not only are we picking up the kind of energy that's out there, but also the other people and animals and all of those people around us who are going through it, we start to, if we're not careful, start to absorb all of those things as well. So it kind of just escalates the situation even more. And MJ, when you mentioned to me yesterday about all that you're experiencing, I was like, "Amen, sister." I've definitely been feeling all of these like heightened energies, feeling stressed out, feeling like I even was on vacation this past weekend, and I was like, "Why am I not relaxing like I usually do?" There's a certain way that I usually feel, and I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling that sense of just release. On the upside, I was unplugged. So I wasn't as connected to everyone else outside of the ship. But I just was like, how am I on vacation and feeling like kind of bored? Feeling kind of a little bit stressed out, feeling at the same time.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and a part of it, and I know that you wrote a post or something about this, was a lot of winds. This past, like, it was maybe Thursday to
Yeah.
Friday that we were experiencing it here. So that can also be very tumultuous energetically. Like it's just like shaking things up and moving things really quickly. And then that wind actually followed me down to the Bahamas where I was at. And it was just like super windy. So that can definitely be a contributing factor of all of these like outside forces, the full moon, this wild windy air coming through. Um, and I think that it's something that affects everyone, but those of us like you and I who have a very strong spiritual practice are the ones who go, wait, I think that this is because of things like the full moon and the wind and something in the air that's going on. So, it is like the select, probably a small amount of the population that really holds this work for the greater collective. So I think it's really important. And I think it's really great that you brought this up and really wanted to offer this talk and this information out to both of our people.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the full moon over the weekend was gorgeous, by the way. I don't know if everyone was able to see it, but man, it was amazing. I love full moons, and I know you said that full moons are chaotic for you. I like looking at them. I don't know about how I feel about them yet. As much as I practiced with a new moon and full moon, I still don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's as you were saying, the wind, I'm like, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, you know, some Phil Collins. But
Uh,
yeah, that, that's definitely, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it was chaotic. Everything was flying by. Like I joked and said, I thought I saw a cat fly by, but I think it was probably just trash.
oh
But
my
it was pretty
goodness.
wild. But yeah,
Yeah, and we're in different areas.
yeah,
We're like at
the
least
sides
like
of,
maybe an hour 15 or more away from each other. So even in different areas of Florida, I was surprised. You were the one that I found out. I found out from you that it was also happening all the way over there, and it wasn't even storming or raining yet. It did later,
hmm
but those storms too can have an effect. And it's funny that you mentioned that you thought you saw a cat fly by, because my cat has kind of lost it. Um, I mean, and it's partially my life. I just moved to a new place
Yeah.
and brought him along. I had been free feeding where they come and eat whenever they're hungry, and the food's there all the time. And the vet said he needs to lose some weight. So now we're giving him just like select amount of food throughout the day, and he's like going wild.
Oh yeah.
And last night he woke me up at 5 in the morning, and he's like meowing. I was gone for a few days too, so he's like losing it, and he's meowing at 5 in the morning. He goes over to the lamp and starts pawing it against the wall, and just like I'm like, what is going on with this cat?
Yeah.
And I realized that he's probably dealing with, first of all the changes, and secondly all of these kind of events that are happening in the collective. He's definitely picking up on it. I think cats are very energetic creatures. They
hmm
read energy like no one's business. And he's a really sensitive cat. So all of a sudden, like a little thing happens and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like we are trying to deal with this personally, and then also like people around us and our animals and our everyone also trying to deal with it. So then we also contend with them as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
saw, if anyone saw the video I posted of a quick clip of the cat ruining my workout video. It was hilarious when I watched it back, but she was just going berserk. And then Monday morning, she woke me up at like 4 o'clock by meowing and meowing. So yeah, I don't know what she needed, but she didn't tell me once I woke up. And then also, I guess I didn't sleep that great, and that's probably why I felt all kinds of weird. So. But yeah, so getting to the point of the video is what do we do when we're feeling this way? And I feel like it's important to say it now since I know that quite a few of my close friends are feeling this. So maybe more people that are going to see this will benefit. So what I work with, again, my business is Real Life Fit. So I'm doing things with fitness, but also mental health, spiritual health, all of these things because they all go together. We don't just physically get fit or mentally get fit. It all has to come together and we have to be working on all of it at the same time. So that's where I'm coming at it from. And some of the stuff, if it's my previous followers that are just on the fitness side, the spiritual side might be a little strange to start, and that's okay. But I know Jen is very in with the spiritual side of things now. So we're kind of on a continuum here, and it's pretty neat. But I'm going to add all of those in. So like I said, I noticed that I myself was feeling strange, and then I had a lot of friends who their kids were sick or they were sick, they were in pain, financial issues, which Mercury's going retrograde soon, so it's kind of like starting to bring up all this stuff like technology problems and whatnot. So that could be doing something as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I yesterday to calm myself, I'll tell you everything I tried to do. This was after I had coffee already, so I could not take back the coffee. So this is in my
Mm-hmm.
system already. And many times I'm totally fine. It gets me like excited and I feel good about it. I enjoy drinking coffee sometimes, but yesterday my head was spinning. And so I was like, okay, what do I need to do? I was like, I need to eat maybe I'll eat some protein, a bean salad, because that will like calm me down. Maybe my sugar levels are a little bit weird. So let me try that. And that didn't do too much right away. I'm like, all right, let me try to move around. I'm going to do some yoga poses. I'm going to do a plank and a down dog. And I kind of like went back and forth, and I went to a down dog and just like let the blood get into my head. And I was like, okay, that helped some for a while, but it kept fluctuating all day. So I just kind of was like, I was wanting to get work done, but I could not even like read. It was so weird. My eyes would not focus. So I did the best I could and just talked with some people, and then rest a little bit. I got a couple of things done, but ultimately it was like, at this point, I just got to calm down and rest. I don't know what else. And then did a workout later on at night, and I felt better by nighttime. So some advice I would give for you is you could try those things. And if you're thinking about using food to help, because that is something, your blood sugar can fluctuate. And I know I have some blood sugar issues already. So think intuitively, what would be good for me to eat right now. I would probably say not like cookies and high sugar, high fake stuff, try to eat some healthy food first and see how that goes. So taking care of your basic needs, just stopping to breathe. Like you could do a follow along meditation for breathing, or you can just breathe. There's the box breath where it's 4 by 4. You breathe in for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4, and do that for like 4 breaths. So that kind of immediately just snaps you right back into here we are, here and now. Let's refocus. Making sure you're drinking a lot of water, because you need that to flush everything out and to energize yourself. And then doing some kind of movement. So if you're feeling like a lot of tense energy, even if you only have 5 minutes, I know a lot of people are busy. My people I work with are moms, they're working, they actually want to have a social life and whatever. So if it's 5 minutes, cool. Do something to exhaust yourself in 5 minutes, or do a really nice yoga flow for 5 minutes. That's all it needs to take. It doesn't have to be like a whole 2-hour workout. Just get your body moving and get that energy like out through the movement. Talking with friends is super helpful too. Now make sure it's a friend that you can trust to be calm and supportive, and not one that brings up a lot of chaos and drama, probably, because that back and forth is not going to be most helpful. So find a good friend to say, hey, I'm stressed out, and they'll say, okay, cool, let's breathe together or something. Yesterday I also used sage because it was the full moon. So I did my full moon card readings, which that's also another tip, is like I do my card readings whenever I'm like feeling kind of weird and need some guidance. But taking sage around the house, around myself, and just thinking about cleansing that energy off of me. And then also just thinking, if everything's stressful and chaotic and it's hard to manage right now, going back to what you're really grateful for. And I've gotten really good at this. I can be grateful for the weirdest things. I tell people this. Even the doorknob on the door, I was like, I'm so grateful that someone thought to make doorknobs to open and close the door. Thank you, whoever created this. And I know that sounds weird, but I fluctuate into really super weird and being grateful for a blade of grass. And then it can be that you have a place to sleep. I like looking out in the backyard and seeing the sun and the moon whenever, it's the right time of day. It's so beautiful. So just really feeling that gratitude as well. So you can write down 3 things that you're grateful for and really feel it. I'm grateful for this bed. It's super comfy. I'm grateful that it helps me sleep well at night and things like that. So those are my tips. And by the end of the day, I was good. Today, I did have no coffee. I said, no coffee today. I feel energetic. I'm good. So I'm still I was really shaky yesterday. I'm still a little bit shaky, but nothing I can't handle today. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of those. And when you were talking about working with mothers, it seems like it would be so fun for them to include their kids in as much of those activities that they're ready for. Like that could be a really great way for them to introduce their kids to some of their practices, and also chill them the heck out, because if they're feeling the energies and going wild and you're trying to calm, like it's just another hurdle to, not that you can't kind of start to relax, but it's just an extra hurdle. So as much as those kids are ready to and interested in joining in with you, I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, I actually got a video from a member today that was doing a dance video. The dance video, oh no, it was not the one that we did together, but another
Okay.
one with her toddler dancing together. So that's great. I mean, however you need to do it, and more people, more fun sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the things that I've tried doing have been some of the deep breathing. I have an ongoing meditation practice. So I sat down to meditate this morning, and honestly, like, I think that any time that you sit down to meditate, like, it is a successful session because you took time out of your day to sit down and do it. But my mind did not settle or calm at all. My cat was still jumping. He came over, started chewing in my hair, and it was just like not that much of a calming experience, which is okay. So what I wanted to speak to is when you do those spiritual practices and and you approach them expecting a specific result, and you don't receive it, what then, right? So for me, that was absolutely my experience. I sat down to meditate and I said, let me take a few deep breaths. Okay, let me start my mantra meditation, and literally did not calm down at all. Was still kind of startled from getting woken up by the cat. It just really didn't bring me to a calm place. And part of what I've learned from my yoga meditation journey is that yoga and meditation is really about like riding the waves. So it's not something that we can expect will get rid of all of our problems. It's obviously not a magic pill. It's something that as we approach these practices, we never really know what we're going to get out of it, which is, I think, something that when people are first getting involved, they're like, okay, so what's the result? Why am I doing this? And I feel like you always realize something or learn something, but it might not be what you came to the practice wanting or hoping for. And that was absolutely the case. So for me, my lesson was really just to have grace with myself, just to be okay with the crazy, to be okay with the cat chewing on my hair, just kind of like move forward a little bit and then resettle in, and then move forward and resettle. And to be okay with the fact that I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. Even that is like such a transformational experience to realize, like, hey, like, this isn't something that's tit for tat. Sit down and breathe, and then I'm going to all of a sudden feel better. Sometimes it is, but there's this sense of grace that especially people new to meditation don't connect with, that I think is just so helpful, not only in these practices, but just day-to-day life, because we all make mistakes. All of us are going to fumble through something. When I first started teaching yoga, one of the other girls in the training started teaching before me, and I was asking her for advice. One of the main things I learned so far is that you're just gonna say stupid things. And I think that's so true. Like sometimes I'll be like, and the right. I mean the left, excuse me, like the left. And you know, and just like say the wrong, it sounds funny. Like that's just part of getting up in front of people, sharing and being authentic, being real. What I do when I'm in front of people and I say the wrong thing is I just laugh it off. Like I'm like, the right. I mean the left. let's do the laugh, and everyone else kind of like laughs too. It's kind of funny, silly moment. Don't have to take ourselves that seriously. So that's another thing that can really help is like just being like, look at all this going wild, and just like laughing at it and just being like, whatever, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna keep rolling with the punches, and I'm not gonna let it hold me back from trying to accomplish any tasks. I'm not gonna let it keep me from moving forward. Like you were talking about, MJ, about Mercury retrograde, and there's this whole kind of like fear that people start to experience. And I think that like that's the people that I know that are legitimate astrologers are like, that's just, not even the worst of it, and I think that's just something that has a lot of hype.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, not necessarily the most significant of like kind of things going wrong.
Right.
So yeah, so I think that like even going through Mercury retrograde, chilling the F out. Like we gonna be ready by the time that like our phones start going out, our texts start going to the wrong person. Like we can just like kind of like learn to laugh at it and just keep going and don't let it hold you back from your practice. Like just because I didn't calm down this morning doesn't mean I'm not gonna sit down again later today, or doesn't mean I'm gonna so my yoga class to show off what I've got. And something that I mentioned also when you were asking like, what can we help people to do when these things kind of go awry? And I'm like, whatever you got to chill you out, like just use it. Because what chills me out might not be what chills you out or your best friend or her boyfriend, or, we all have different things that work for us. Some of us love aromatherapy. Some of us love even like drinking coffee. Like, as you know, some people like it chills them out. They're like kind of anxious until they get their cup of coffee. So for some people that is going to work for them. So my thought is always like, whatever you've got, just use it. And if it doesn't work, try something else. And no matter what, just keep going. Don't let it be something that holds you back, because we all have a light to shine. We all have an important place in the world, and so many opportunities to share our beautiful lights. And it's always a shame when people like think back in and let it stop them from what it is in the world, or from sharing with other people their gifts and things like that. Like that's so much more important than whatever the heck is going wrong in in the worlds around you. Something that I also want to mention is since we've talked about coffee, is the coffee alternative that I love. It's something that I talk about in my emails. I've mentioned to my tribe, is Yopan tea. Yopan tea is the only naturally caffeinated tea that grows here in North America, and it grows locally in Central Florida. So for those of you who are local to Central Florida, it'll like if you go into a wooded area, it could be growing there. Like it just grows here. And you can grow it in your backyard. You can grow it in a potted plant. It has caffeine in it, but it also has other things in it that kind of take the edge off. So even though you're getting that energized quality of caffeine, it's also helping to keep you from getting too jittery. So if you all are trying to like wanting to try something new, and starting to feel like that coffee is a little too much, but you still need a pick me up, I highly recommend Yopan tea. And specifically, I buy from the Yopan brothers, and they're also on Amazon. So you can just put in, it's Yaupon, and you can find it on Amazon. They have their own website, or you can, like I said, just like buy a plant and grow it in your backyard, which is pretty cool. But it's really neat that we have that here locally, that we can use to still kind of get that little upliftment, but not feel like we have to like go all jittery and wild.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. That's really neat.
Yeah, I got to meet them. They came through Orlando area and gave a talk about Yopan. It's something that the Native Americans very much would drink in the area. So they do a lot of really good work. They have like whole Yopan ceremonies, and there's a lot more to it. I don't want to take up a whole hour sharing about how awesome this is. But they actually donate Yopan to the Native American tribes so that I have goosebumps even talking about it. But for a long time, they had to use other forms of tea in their ceremonies because they didn't have like the Yopan tea as easily and readily accessible. And the Yopan brothers donate Yopan tea to the Native American tribes so that they can do their Yopan ceremonies with actual Yopan. So there's a lot more. If you're interested, definitely hop on and look it up. But it's really an awesome plant.
Cool. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying all of that about just accepting where we are now. And that is something that I've learned to do over time because I used to be super stressed. I would get angry so quick and all of that. And it's just, accept that, be grateful for that too, like it's a stressful time. I've also heard say hello to whatever it is that you're dealing with. Hello, stress, and somehow that will help to alleviate it as well. But it's there, it's going to happen. We're not going to avoid it. At some point, we're going to deal with things that we would prefer not to, but accepting it, being okay with it, and knowing that A plus B does not always equal C. That's what we want to happen, though. If I do this, I will get this. And it's more about the journey in between, just like you said. So I actually just said that to another member this morning was, it's about the journey. You set out that you need to exercise 4 times a week and it didn't happen. Well, you did 3 instead of 4. Why be upset about it? That's awesome. That's 3 more than 0, which you were doing before potentially. So it's a journey. Like, why didn't I get to 4? Maybe 4 is not reasonable this time. I'll get up to 4 at some point whenever I can get my routine more reasonable. So it's all about the journey, accepting where you are, and if you need help, I'm here to try to help you out. If you want to reach out to me, reach out to friends, whoever it is that can help you and really develop a strong practice. Like you were saying, the meditation every day. I do that the best I can. I get into meditation somehow every day, even if it's before I go to sleep and I just do something on my own. So figuring it out, becoming self-aware. First that you have to know, oh, I'm stressed. And then, oh, I know what helps me. Now I'm going to go do it, So
Absolutely.
And that takes time to figure out.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much for getting together with me and offering all of these gifts of knowledge that you've cultivated through your own practice. I really just think that all that you're doing is amazing and so unique. I think that you have so much to offer with bringing in the fitness into also the spiritual and mental health. I think that's like just so right on and so important. And I think that we really could use some more in the spiritual world, some more of like your fun workout videos and fun energy that you bring into all that you do. So thanks again for getting together with me. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you very much. I love what you're doing too. That's why I'm like, Jen's gonna be my person I'm gonna ask, because I know that the empathic, connection here, that we're going through it all and we're trying to help essentially the same type of people. Your people are more awakened to the notion that they are empaths, and I might be catching them as they're starting to discover that. So that's really neat that you've found a group to really help, because it is needed for sure to gather our own feelings and know what's ours and what's not ours.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, everyone who's watching this, thank you so much for watching the whole video, and I really wish you all the best in your journey of moving through all of this as gracefully as possible and with as much ease and self-care as you can muster.
Thank you. We'll add links so you can find us, and see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.